Hey, what's going on, everybody that's watching this on the replay right now? What's up, David? How you doing, man? I know y'all getting ready for the concert. That's good stuff. Good morning, Candace. Glad to see you on here. Jizzy J, good morning to you as well. Thank y'all for the hearts. Y'all are so kind. I really appreciate that. Happy Saturday morning to all of you guys. Yeah, what's happening? I'm glad to see y'all. What's up? Good morning to you. Thanks so much for the kind welcomes. Yeah, it has been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been on here, especially for morning motivation. But I want to be able to do better. Thanks for inviting the followers, David. I appreciate that. And sharing. Thank you guys so much. I'm sitting here in the studio, and I had to be at the butt crack of dawn, which is cool. It's a part of the job or whatnot. And for once, I didn't have an extensive amount of things that I needed to get done. And so I wanted to take a moment to share some morning motivation with you guys, some stuff that I was thinking and praying and concentrating on earlier this week that I really believe will help someone out there. I think it'll help all of us. It has helped me, and I believe it'll help everybody else. So I'm going to jump into it, but before I do, you guys are really already doing it, but for anybody watching this on the replay, I guess, please be sure to share this. Help me share this with the world. Good morning, Sandman21. By swiping up, I believe if you're on an Android device, it's been a while, and swiping left or right if you're on an Apple or iOS device to share this with the world. So I wanted to be able to share with you guys this concept of living outside of suffering. Had wine on me? Good morning to you. What's happening? I wanted to share with you guys this idea of suffering or whatnot. A lot of times I've noticed that there are a lot of people in the world. AJ Audio, what's going on? Good morning to you. There are a lot of people in this world that are very unhappy. And you know what's crazy is that they know they're unhappy. A lot of them know that they are not doing well. Something's not right in their life. Yeah, what's happening, man? Glad to see you, brother. But what's unfortunate is that they don't know how to get out of it. Sometimes they don't even know that they're doing the wrong things that are constantly causing themselves to live a negative life, or a life that is, void of happiness and joy and peace and love. All of these eternal fruits of the Spirit that I've talked to you guys about plenty of times before. I put a statement out on my social media. I'm trying not to get too excited about it to where I don't speed through this, but I put out a message on my social media, I think it was yesterday, and it said that suffering is directly connected to self-centeredness. And if you find yourself focusing more on giving than what happens to you, than what you receive, Black Bro, good morning to you, then you'll find that your suffering will begin to dissipate. And what I want to explain about that is that, there are a couple of different ways that you can find yourself removed from a place of suffering and hurt. One of these ways, oh yeah, thanks for following. I forgot to say, you guys be sure to follow me. I follow everybody back, and be sure to heart it up as well if you're blessed by what's being said. One of the things that, we can do to keep ourselves away from suffering, one of my favorite statements is by this guy named Don Draper off of this show called Mad Men. I loved Mad Men. All right? And he had this statement that's just classic. It says, if you don't like what's being said, change the conversation. If you don't like what's being said, change the conversation. I love that statement to this day because it's the truth. There are a lot of times there are things that are going on that are being brought your way. And when I say that, a lot of our suffering is connected to our self-centeredness. Think about it. When you say that person's not treating me right, me. My kids won't act the way I want them to, me. They're not paying me enough, me. All of these different things that you're going through can be self-centered. They can be all centered on you and your suffering. And it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to pay attention to what's going on in your life. But it can be a trap in paying so much attention to the negative in your life that it traps you into a place that only attracts what you focus on. There's a statement that says, where the mind goes, energy flows. Felushik, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Glad to see you on here. Where the mind goes, your energy flows. In fact, there's this concept in racing, and I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but I really like this concept in people that race, speed races and all that, where when they're going around the track, Southsider, good morning to you. They're making these turns and everything, and passing up these walls, trying not to hit them. There's this concept in racing that you never look or focus on the wall, because if you focus on the wall when you're coming around that curve when you're driving, then it's almost guaranteed you're going to hit it. And there's a study done that's shown that majority of the times, when they're driving and they're looking at that wall and they're saying, don't hit that wall, don't hit that wall. Guess what? They end up hitting that wall. Why? Because the thing that you focus on the most is the thing that you're going to create an atmosphere that attracts that exact thing, whether it's what you want or what you don't want. So one of the ways to get yourself out of this place of suffering and hurt and pain all the time is to change the conversation. Instead of I'm not focusing on this wall, focus on the road ahead. Focus on I'm about to make this turn. Focus on I'm going to the finish line. Focus on that. Catholic 42, good morning to you. Glad to see you on here. That's the first thing that you want to do, to be able to take yourself, thanks Southsider, take yourself out of this place of suffering and pain. The second thing, and this is a lot of tricks to this, friends. There are a lot of tips that I can give, but I'm only doing 2 today. Evan Taylor, good morning to you. Glad to see you on here. The second thing is to take the attention off yourself. I said earlier that your suffering a lot of times is connected to self-centeredness. You're just focused on you. Everything that happens to you, what it does to you, how it affects you. We're supposed to look out for ourselves. Absolutely. We're supposed to keep our good health and wealth and mentality. What's up, Amber? Glad to see you on here this morning. Good morning to you, Lady Townsend. But it can be a trap, my friends. Instead, can you imagine how much peace you would have if you stopped focusing on all the pain in your life and you started focusing on how you can make someone else's life better? Could you imagine how much happiness, how much joy, how much peace? Barrow 12, good morning to you. How much peace you could have if you actually focused on creating life, creating love, creating joy, creating peace for the world that surrounds you. I'm not just talking about a friend. I'm not just talking about going and serving the hungry, although that's one of the ways you can do it. Shaima Begum 87, good morning to you. Hope I said your name right. But I'm talking about whichever way that causes you to be in a place of selflessness as opposed to selfishness. Because you understand that selfishness is something that's going to eventually pull and degrade your lifestyle and your quality of living. We don't want that in life. I said earlier, a lot of people that are living a very a hard life right now, and they don't realize they're doing the wrong thing. To help you understand what I mean by that, have you ever walked around regular day and operated in a regular day with a cold? It's kind of like that. You see, a lot of times we can walk around sick and still operate daily and feel like nothing must be wrong. I'm still able to operate daily, not knowing that if you don't do something to remove that sickness, it's going to grow, fester, and it can take you out. It can grow into things much worse. Alan, good morning to you. This is why it's important for us to do the things that's going to put us in a position of peace, of love, of joy, a connectedness to God, a connectedness to all of the eternal gifts from the Spirit, gifts of the Spirit that are put here for us to be able to live in abundance and enjoy. My friends, I don't want you to suffer anymore. I want you to find yourself outside of a place of suffering. Finally, I listened to this minister on this CD by The Truth. It's really dope. It's one. He got a new one and he just dropped. It's really dope. And he made mention to the fact that, you know, to be with God is to be in a place outside of suffering. And at the end of the day, everybody just wants to feel good. Everybody just wants to be in a place that's void of suffering.
This is the difference between living hell on earth and living in a heavenly place while you're yet living. Is to find yourself in a place that's connected to this eternal Spirit of God. How do you find yourself connected? You pursue and connect with those things that are eternal. Mary Jane Wright, good morning to you. Love, peace, joy, all of these great things that are there to help give you an abundant lifestyle, as opposed to the things that take away. Focusing on the negative, focusing on yourself, focusing on, well, that's it. Focusing on the negative and focusing on yourself. Learn to be selfless. Learn to change the conversation in your life to the things that are only going to bring life. And do it with confidence. And continue to do it until it becomes a habit. It may not be so easy at first. I'm sure that I could have this conversation with somebody that is habitually negative, and their first response is going to be, well, I can't stop being realistic. I have to pay attention to what's in front of me. Let me give you something real quick about that. There's a difference between optimism, realism, and the idea of what realism is versus optimism. Optimism is somebody that can see the current situation and see what it can be. You understand? Realism is just seeing the situation and stopping at that. Thoughts create actions, actions create outcomes, which means the way you see things and the way you perceive things can pretty much create the outcome that you're going to live. All right? So instead of seeing what is and stopping right there, why not activate a thought that can create a different outcome in your life? I see the sickness, I see the pain, I see the hurt, but I also see myself out of it. I also see myself overcoming it. I also see myself doing way better. I also see this not existing anymore. And guess what? You continue to change your conversation, change the way you talk and think, and eventually your actions will change. It'll become habit for you to see life in an optimistic view, and eventually you will begin to attract and thus create a lifestyle void of the suffering. Now, suffering's going to be with us, but how long it stays with you is your choice, my friends. There are many people that walk around with ailments and are full of joy and are full of peace. Bless you. I'm glad it blessed you, Alan. Full of joy and full of peace, that are missing limbs, that have experienced some of the hardest things in life. You would be amazed the things that some people have gone through in this life. Your problems pale in comparison to them, and yet they have joy and peace. Why? It's a choice. It's a choice, my friends. It is a choice. And they choose to focus. If they're going to focus on their self, they're going to focus on the goodness that's in their lives and the goodness that they can share and create with others. That's what I want to encourage you guys to do today, all right? So I hope that motivated you to be able to live a blessed life. I have statements that I always say on here: fear nothing, regret nothing, appreciate everything, live your blessed life. I want you all to do that. Thank you guys again for the hearts. My name is Mr. Frankie Wilson. If you're not following me, please follow me on here. Follow me on all the major social networks. I'd very much appreciate it. I follow everybody else back. Bless you, Black Bro. I appreciate you for being on here, man. Yeah, and I'll try to get back on here and get to doing this more often again like I used to. I promise. Mohammed, good morning to you. Please be sure to watch the replay of this. You guys help me to share this again. And, hey, have an incredible, amazing Saturday and the rest of your lives, guys, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Y'all be blessed.